I'm Stephanie Cleary from Parenting Inspirations, and today we're going to learn how to bake bread with children. Well, I'm going to bake the bread. You could bake it with your children, and you will see how easy and fun it is and how delicious it is using all organic ingredients. It's quick, easy, and yummy. Okay, here we go. So we have active dry yeast. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of that right into my bowl. And I'm going to add 2 cups of warm water. So I took, it's pretty warm to hot, but not boiling or it'll deaden the yeast. So we don't want to do that. So I just pour that right in. Then I take some honey. And you see, I'm just going to, maybe Jack could get a little picture right in there. I just kind of glob it right in. I'm not really a measurer. I'm trying my best though to do some measuring, but you saw, you just put it in. Dashes of salt, dash of sunflower oil, or any oil of your choice. And then I'll take my whole wheat flour and I'll put about 2 cups, well, it's a little more, but about 2 cups of whole wheat. And then I'll take, 2 cups of white. Put that right in there like that. Oh, and you know what? I forgot a spoon. I'll be right back. Jack, you could give a shot at the wonderful mixture so far. And I think you'll probably notice that the yeast did not sit there. You know, when I bake with children and I put the water, yeast, honey, and salt in, I usually let it sit and I cover it with a cloth so the children can see that frothy yeast rise. And when you uncover it, it's way up high. But because I'm using an active yeast, it's really not necessary. So if you're a mama or a papa or a grandparent or caregiver who is in a rush and wants to get that bread baked right away, well, then just do it just like I did. But you can wait for the special effects of the yeast for the children. It's fun for them to see the whole process like that. So you see, now I can't stir it anymore with my spoon. So I'm going to remove the sticky, what's now a dough, off of the spoon. And I see that it is quite sticky. So I'm going to take just a handful of my white flour and add it in. And now I start to knead it. Just like that.
And can the kids help with that?
Oh, you bet, Jack. This is the best part. The kids love it. The sensory experience. First of all, I have to tell you how yummy this feels. It's so warm and soft, and it's just such a cool thing for the children to experience. So yes, have them knead away, and then they're using their will. You know how many will forces have to go into using this strength? Putting all that power into my hands and my fingers. So the little ones just, oh, they love it. And also, if you measure with them and have them put the ingredients in, that's what I always would do with my little ones, my own children and the children that I've taught. So they would each put the ingredients in and then stir away. Don't be so picky if they make a mess, it's all good. Sometimes I make a mess too. And I think we are really there. Now, the wonderful thing about this dough, you could make it into little buns and bake it at 350 for just 20 minutes. Now, the amount that I put in will make about 16 to 18 little buns, believe it or not. And they are wonderful little bite-sized breads to have in the mornings. You could have them for breakfast. And if you have a small family and you have lots extra and you haven't given them to the neighbors and things like that. We used to do stuff like that, and at school we would give to our neighbors in the classrooms next door, and they were always so excited. But if you're looking to hold on to the bread for these days ahead, you could just take them and put them into a little container and freeze them, and they freeze really well. And after you freeze them, you just stick them in the oven or the toaster oven, and they're perfect. So this is a little the size of the bun, if you could see that from my hands, the approximate size. And I would just fill up the pan just like that. And I have to tell you also something that thrills the children, shaping them in all different ways and letting them just be creative. Sometimes they like to make breadsticks. My little ones used to love when I would braid the bread or make little snails out of the bread. See how easy it is? It's such a nice dough, such a forgiving dough. You just play around. If it's too sticky, add flour. If it's too dense, then just add warm water. And see, you can make a little snail. Children love to do that, just like that. I'll make one more, just for a little example. But you know, you could get creative. During holiday time, sometimes you could even use a fun little cookie cutter or something like that and make hearts or flowers. Yeah. Oh, and one more thing I want to tell you about this dough. You could also take the dough, half it, and put it on your baking pans, or use a large baking pan and flatten it out and make a great pizza. So that was another specialty we used to do sometimes for our little children at school. All right, so here's the braided. I'm doing this in the air, which is a new craft for me. And you could do it just like that, or you could curl it up. It's up to you. It's nice like that. And that's it. Baking. So put it in the oven, 20 minutes at 350. And if you've made them a little bigger, you might need to add a couple of minutes onto it, maybe 5 minutes or 7 minutes onto it. But check it out, before you completely take it out, check the middle to make sure it cooked through, and you are all set. And that's your yummy bread. Enjoy.